Dr. Kingsley, welcome, man.
Thank you.
We're finally doing this.
Yeah, we've been talking for a while online. So.
I know. I'm glad we got to make this work. So let me just really quickly say, hey, welcome to the Man Within podcast. I got Dr. Kingsley here. He's in from Houston. We're in Toronto, Canada. Dr. Kingsley is a best-selling author, TV personality, but really a relationship expert. That's why I brought him on the podcast today. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about all the things, but you have to share your story that you just shared with me with the audience about your kids. That is the coolest story I've ever heard.
All right. So when I met my wife, interestingly, I and my wife went to high school together.
Okay. This is in Nigeria.
Yes, this is in Nigeria.
Okay.
But we never spoke. Our paths never crossed. We're classmates.
Okay.
But our paths never crossed. We never spoke to each other because she was, a Christian. So the way we say it is that she was born again in school. I was born against. So I was a bad guy.
You were the rebel child.
Yeah. So our paths somehow never crossed, but we're same set. And she was like the finest girl in school, so everybody liked her and everything. But we never spoke. So 10 years after, we're doing a reunion of 10 years after school. That's when we now started talking and, relationship, evolved.
So you met the Lord somewhere in that 10 years?
Yes, in between that time.
Okay, got it.
I had friends, my bad guy friends, when they saw that we were married, they said, you give your life to Christ so that you can marry Mildred. I was like, no.
Flirt to convert strategy, right?
That's what they thought. I said, no. I was already, I already met the Lord before I met her again. So,
wow.
Yeah, so from when we were about to start the relationship, she had told me that doctors had said, because she had a lot of things, PCOS, uterine bleed, many stuff. And doctors had told her she might never have kids. And even if she did, it wouldn't be natural. There would be a lot of things.
Okay.
So she was thinking that would discourage me. And I said, no. I said, you're going to have kids, because the Lord says none shall be barren in the land, neither male nor female. I said, you're going to have kids. I said, in fact, just to prove it to you, I want us to name the kids.
Wow.
Before we started the relationship. So we said, how many kids?
Before you started the relationship, before you're even dating?
Yes.
Like you're not even officially?
I was already trying to make my intentions known.
Yes.
So she thought to inform me that, hey, if you're interested in something with me, you need to know that I might not have kids.
I see. Okay,
Yes.
so just putting everything on the table before you get into anything.
Yeah. For Africans, having kids is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, your parents can get you off a marriage or you can go to remarry just because you can't have kids with a woman. So it's a big deal in Africa. So yeah, so she had to put that on the table.
Right.
So I said, no, that's not an issue at all. I said, we're going to have kids. So I said, to prove it to you, let's name our kids today. So we said, how many kids? We have a good video people should watch. It's 10 agreements we had, before marriage. Yeah, 10 agreements, we had as a couple.
Okay.
And the spine agreement. So, because most people don't realize what God really blesses in a marriage is not just the union, it's the unity. Yes. So many people have a union.
Yes.
They don't have the unity. So they're wondering why things are not moving. The real blessing in a marriage is not just the union, it's the unity.
That's good.
You see, the union happens on the wedding day, but the unity happens throughout the marriage.
Wow.
So many people are married, they have the union, and they were blessed on their wedding day, maybe a priest or a pastor, there was a wedding.
Yeah.
But throughout the marriage, there's no unity. So they're wondering why all the things that are supposed to be happening in the marriage is not happening.
Wow.
So the union happens on the wedding day, the unity happens throughout the marriage. And literally there's nothing. The Bible says whatever two shall agree upon shall be done, anything. But most people don't have that agreement.
Wow.
So they're not seeing the things.
Okay, but there's more to the story.
Yes.
You left out the coolest part, in my opinion, which I'm already blown away. So you name your 3 kids before you've even started dating.
Yes. We decided how many kids do you want to have?
And you guys were on the same page?
Yes.
Okay.
We said 3. Yeah, 3 looks more like it. So I always tell people have girls first. It's okay to have girls first. And if you want to know how to have girls first, we can show you how to do it.
Oh my goodness!
I'm kidding.
Okay, I was gonna say,
I'm kidding about that. But I'm of the opinion that I like to have girls first. Guess I'm just generally more homely, more more compassionate. They're good at raising the rest.
Definitely, that
boys like to play so much.
Yes,
boys just want to go out.
Boys are useful to their 20s, right? Yeah.
So we just said, okay, we want to have the girl first, one girl first, then we'll have twins.
Okay.
Now my wife wanted twins because she just felt, it'll be easier. They'll have the same birthdays. They'll do everything together.
Yeah.
She just wanted twins.
Sure. Get 3 kids and 2 pregnancies.
Yes, everything just looked more convenient. So I said, okay, let's do that. So we named them. The first one was going to be called Hadassah because of the covenant in the name. Hadassah is the Jewish name for Esther in the Bible. And that was the nickname I used to call my wife when we were, good friends, And that has a good meaning, but I don't want to go into that.
Okay.
Then the second one, David. David is a covenant name God gave us. When we're starting ministry, God told us, your ministry shall be called David's Christian Center. He said, because as David never lost a battle, so my work with you be. So David was one of the kings that never lost a battle. No matter what he fought against, whether it was animals or 1,000 Philistines or an army, David always won. So David had a covenant of victory. So God said, as David never lost a battle, that's how I'm going to walk with you. So we have a covenant named David. So we said we're going to do David, and then since they are twins, so David and Davida for the girl. So that's how it happened. Now, it took about 8 years for the kids to start coming because all the things the doctor said in court started to play out, or it was getting difficult. And I told her, look, don't worry.
Yeah.
We're going to have the kids, And to give the abridged version, because it was a long journey.
I'm sure.
We eventually got all the kids. Now, David and David, Hadassah came first. Then David and Davida, we wanted them to twins. They didn't come the same year, but they still had the same birthday.
Crazy. So
Yes.
yeah, they're 2 years apart, I think you said,
Yes,
right?
they're 2 years apart.
But they still got the same
birthday, August 22nd. You can't plan that kind of thing.
Can't make that stuff up, man.
Yeah, you can't make it up. So August 22nd, the same birthday, but just 2 years apart.
That's something
and
else.
now we actually appreciate the fact that they are 2 years apart because handling twins would have been a handful for us
a
of
lot.
how busy our schedule.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
So having them 2 years apart was perfect. So sometimes God overrides your decision, knowing that, look, I'm going to give you something better than what you're asking for.
Yes,
and
yes.
you would appreciate it later,
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But you still got, that's
Yes,
still,
we still got
even just to
twins.
think that you declared you're going to have 3 kids, you have their
Yes.
names, the genders.
Everything.
And, yeah, it's
Everything.
incredible. So now, obviously, we need to talk about these 10 agreements.
Yes.
Because clearly there's some power here.
Yeah, yes.
And what you said before is very profound. Union is the day of, union is the legal agreement that you signed.
Yes.
And we know that unfortunately 50% of those legal agreements eventually wind up in a
Yes.
divorce.
Yes.
And it sounds like what you're suggesting is because there's no unity,
There's no unity
in the relationship.
Yes, people confuse the two. They think union means unity. We can be in a union and not be united. If you've ever been in a work union or any union, they are usually divided.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, it's very adversarial
Yes.
actually. Yeah,
so
it's
you
true.
can be in a union and not be united. So people are wondering what's going on because you need to maintain the unity. When the Bible says the man shall leave his father more than cleave to his wife, that word cleave means to hold fast. You see, so it's a continuous thing. It's not an automatic thing. So most people look at it like an automatic thing that, once we get married, I cleave. Cleave is holding on to something, holding fast to something. This is like how your skin and your bone are joined together. So it has to be continuous. You do not stop cleaving. You hold on too tight. So that is the continuous part of marriage that many people do not do. They think we're going to be united, just by chance.
Yeah.
No, we're going to be united by choice. So it's an intentional thing.
Right. So this is why after this interview, you're going to interview my parents.
Yes,
They had an
yes.
arranged marriage.
Yes.
The way arranged marriages function, I know you said your parents had that as well. It's very much on this premise of its values. It's being very intentional with the choice. It's not about falling in love, right? Because my dad says if you can fall in love,
you can fall
out of love.
Yes.
Exactly, right? So the 10 agreements you talked about,
Yes.
I wasn't even going to ask you about any of this stuff, but this is just so fascinating.
Yeah.
What are, give me some more. What are some other agreements?
I might not be able to remember all of them by heart.
No, that's
if
fine.
my wife was here, she has a better memory, so she'll remember them.
No, that's okay.
Of course, we agreed the amount of kids we're going to have.
Okay.
We agreed some basics like we would always have a joint account. Now, when we teach couples this, we say you either have a joint account or joint accountability. In a case where you can't have a joint account physically.
Okay.
What that means is that we plan our finances together. We do everything
There's
financially
full
together.
transparency on both sides.
Yes, it's literally our money. There's no my
Yeah.
in our marriage. It's ours. So it doesn't matter who makes what.
Yeah, that's right.
We plan it together.
Yes.
Many people don't realize that one of the major things that determine the decisions you make is money. So the
it's
moment,
so true.
yes, you don't make any decision without money. If you're going to plan where your kids are going to school, if you're going to plan where you're going to live, if you're going to plan what car you're going to do, almost all the decisions you're going to make
Everything. Yeah.
is going to somehow come back to money.
And it's uncomfortable for Christians to talk
Yes.
about this, right? They feel like it's better to not talk about the money stuff.
Yeah, but you see, there's a book and a curriculum we're working on. It's called Kingdom Marriages Never Fail. So most people don't know that there are 3 kinds of marriages. So there's the cultural marriage,
Okay.
there's the contemporary marriage, and then there's the Christian or kingdom marriage or covenant marriage. So there are 3 different things. So if anybody that is supposed to be a Christian has a failed marriage, they were not running a kingdom marriage. Now, two Christians can run a cultural marriage. Two Christians can run a contemporary marriage. But when two Christians run a kingdom marriage, it is impossible to fail. Why do I say that? In a cultural marriage, it's a marriage between two families. So in a cultural marriage, they tell you, it's not just both of you, it's the joining of two families. And they're correct. That's how a cultural marriage works. In a contemporary marriage, it's a marriage between two people. They say, we don't care what any other person thinks, just between two of us.
Okay.
And that's also dangerous because you need community for a marriage to work.
Yes.
But in a kingdom marriage, it's a marriage between three people. God and the two of you. So it's like a triangle. So God is at the top of it. And the two of you are connected at the base. So even when the base are not in agreement, even when the base are not feeling loved, there's someone higher than both of you still holding the marriage. So it can't fail. That's why the Bible said a threefold cord is not easily broken.
Right.
So if you know about ropes, I've been in Boy Scout and all that, or if you have been into boating or things like that, with ropes, the threefold cord is the strongest level of rope. So rope can have one strand. They said that's easily broken.
Right.
When it has two, it's a bit stronger, but it can also easily break. 3 is the strongest, but when you have 3 strands is the only time all 3 ropes can touch each other, can be interwoven, and it's the strongest the rope can be. If you make it 4, all 4 will not touch each other, and it doesn't increase the strength. So 3, if you make it 2, is weaker. 3 is the strongest point where it's almost impossible. So that's what the Bible meant when it said a threefold cord. It's not easily broken. And that's what a covenant marriage is. God and the two of you. And usually you will see God all through in a covenant marriage.
Yeah.
It's beyond both of you.
Right.
You will see that God orchestrated things there. It's like the first marriage in scripture.
Right.
Adam was not looking for a wife. It's God that said, look, it's not good for man to be alone. It's God that brought the woman. It's God that connected them. So 3 kinds of marriage. So, and they all have 3 different rules. The cultural marriage is run by tradition. The contemporary marriage is run by trends. The kingdom marriage is run by covenant terms. So there's what is called a covenant. Marriage was designed as a covenant. It wasn't designed as a friendship, wasn't designed as an association. It's designed as a covenant. In a covenant, the 2 become one person.
That's right.
It's not 2 individuals. The 2 individuals die and one being resurrects.
Man.
So when people say, we want to divide our money, anything that divides the 2 people is already breaking the marriage because you are one person. So if people understand that, don't marry someone you can't trust with your money. You're trusting them with your life.
Yeah.
And you want to keep your money safe.
Yeah.
And put your life in danger. In fact, even show how warped our thinking has become. You're trusting them with your kids.
Yeah. Right.
But you're keeping your money aside in a safe.
Yeah.
No, money is the least thing you're trusting this person with. So if you can't trust them with your money, that is the sign that you shouldn't marry this person because you're trusting them with your heart.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's profound. And I think there's also another sentiment very common in America, which is you complete me. We're looking for somebody to complete me, which is anti-biblical, right? Because
it depends on how you see it.
Okay.
Part of the purposes of marriage is to actually make someone complete you, in quote. Or a better way to say it is to complement you.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Yes.
So you are not coming because you are incomplete.
That's right.
But the truth is that every human being is incomplete.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
So the way God designed it, if you look at the first marriage, it said, I'll make him a help meet. Now, most people pronounce it as help mate. Not mate, is help meet. That phrase means a helper that is suitable and adaptable. There's Hebrew and all that for that. I just want to bore you with that. But it just simply means somebody that brings life, that is a helper comparable, that is like an opposite side of you.
Yes.
That kind of completes you.
Yeah,
so,
I see what you're saying.
So the phrase is not bad. It depends on how you want to interpret it.
Yes.
Because the way God designed it, everybody has certain strengths, and that comes with certain weaknesses.
Yes.
So you can't be good at everything.
Of course.
If you're short-sighted, it means you can't see close. If you're far-sighted, it means you can't see close. That's just how it works.
Yes.
You can't have both.
Yes, but I suppose where I was going with this is I think sometimes we see this in even our communities where the wife is so reliant on the husband but doesn't know how to go to God, like you said, that third part of the triangle. And I think sometimes when they come in with that you complete me mentality, we live disappointed by our spouse because they're a great compliment to us, like you're saying. I totally agree with what you said. but then we miss out on the fact that there's a third part of the equation that actually is kind of the primary part, like you said, so that if your spouse does let you down or they do fail you, which is going to happen,
there's someone,
you have coverage, right, in the Lord. And that's a really critical part of this arrangement.
Yes, totally. God is at the center of a covenant marriage. So, in fact, the way I say it is that a kingdom marriage is between two kingdom citizens run by kingdom principles to achieve kingdom purpose. So, it is God is the main person.
Yeah.
So we both already should have a strong reliance, relationship, and dependence on God before we ever even meet each other. So I'm not putting all my, hope and everything on you as a person if I'm getting married to you. It's first on God. That's why God is a major player in the whole thing. I'm putting on God, and God is the one holding us together. God is the one even telling me how to treat you. There are times I'm upset with you.
Yeah.
But you see, if it's built on just I love you, you love me, the day you annoy me, the day you upset me, then the marriage is weak that day.
Yeah.
But you see, when there's God factor there days I'm living up to a higher responsibility than just pleasing you.
Yeah.
I'm trying to also please God.
Yeah.
So that's
a good word. The amount of times my wife has said, I was going to do X, Y, Z, but the Holy Spirit told me,
exactly.
It's so important. It's so important.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. So you have an arm of your counseling practice that focuses on infidelity.
Yes.
And I think our audience would understand how necessary that is, but in case people aren't aware, infidelity is rampant in the world and in our culture. It's not just something from the biblical days. This is something that people really, they deal with this a lot. And even to be honest, when I started Deep Clean, helping guys quit pornography addiction, I didn't understand the rampancy of affairs and online dating and all these extramarital activities that take place. So I think maybe at a fundamental level, why do people cheat?
Oh, it's more a human thing, especially depends on how you have lived your whole life. In fact, even if you don't have God at the center of your life, the tendency to want something that is not yours is high. So it takes that grace of God, that understanding of God, to learn contentment. You see, desiring something that is not yours is natural. Contentment is supernatural. So that's how it works.
True.
Being rude is natural. Being kind is supernatural. So there are things you need to learn consciously. But there are things that will happen if you don't learn naturally as well. So for most people, they've lived their whole lives not learning loyalty and faithfulness. So
right. Because it's not natural, so to speak.
To them. Yes.
Yeah.
So they enter into marriage and expect it to just happen. No, it's something you have to practice all through your life and then carries on into marriage. So nobody changes in marriage. It's how you've been living before marriage that shows up in marriage. A lizard that is single does not become an alligator in marriage. Marriage doesn't make you a different person. It's just who you are. So if you have not bridled your desires, so it's like somebody watching porn. Or just allowing their minds do whatever it wants to do before they get married, and they think when I get married, my mind
all
is
of a sudden just going to rein it in.
No,
yeah.
So how have you been living all your life? Really, it's going to show up in the person. That's the person you are bringing into the marriage. The quality of person you are. So that is why knowing God guides you. There are just so many good things that is just casually said in the Word of God, but you don't realize that is wisdom for everyday life. Things like guard your heart with all diligence. You just think, no, it doesn't matter, I can watch anything I want to watch. No, you cannot. At the beginning, you are in control, but at the end, the thing takes control. So you will know this from pornography.
Yes.
Just one clip.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the algorithm these days doesn't help. So the moment you watch one naked girl, they're going to show you 10 naked girls next.
Of course.
So the key is not to start. Because when there's one, it would have been easier to resist it. When you now have 10 different pictures, it's more difficult to resist that. And then next week, they give you 20 different pictures.
Yeah. Okay, so while we're here, because this is my wheelhouse, this is what I talk about day and night, where do you draw the line for infidelity? At what point is it unfaithfulness to someone?
Anything that you need to hide from your partner is faithfulness. Yeah, unfaithfulness. Anything you're ashamed about. Anything you can't be proud of. You see, when you're in love with someone, you're proud of it. Yeah. So once you start to delete chats, once you start to do things you hope your partner does not see or hear, then infidelity, that's betrayal.
Okay.
So it has already started. So most people think it's only when you have intercourse with someone else.
Yeah.
No, but it's not true if you're hiding financial transactions. So when we do infidelity recovery, we have to show the couple how that the sexual act never happens in isolation. So there has to be time frames that are missing in your schedule. There has to be money that is missing in your accounting. There has to be a lot of betrayals.
Yes. There's always layers to it.
Yeah, there's layers of betrayals before you get to the bed. So it's a betrayal, and that's what hurts the offended party the most, is the amount of betrayals. You can't successfully have physical intimacy with someone else without betraying your partner emotionally, financially, in a lot of ways. You must tell lies. There must be some lying. There must be some shady things. There must be some accounting that you're not coming up with. There has to be a lot. So the moment you start to delete chats, the moment you start doing anything that you can't come up front with, you can't be proud of, you hide. Yeah. You're already in infidelity. It's not just the bed is the end.
Yes.
Not the beginning.
But I'm guessing it takes getting to the bed before people come to you.
Yes, most times.
Usually?
Most times, yes. Yeah. But some people know enough to know that once my spouse is having text or whatever with someone else, especially sharing intimate information. There's a kind of information you're sharing with someone else that you're already crossing the line. You're already breaking the boundaries. When you are getting intimate or sharing intimate stuff with someone else about your marriage or about your emotions, things that are meant for only your spouse. You're sharing your deep feelings, and this person is not a therapist. Yeah. So you're sharing with somebody else out of friendship. You're sharing, some emotional connection, all that. Yeah. You're already betraying your spouse. You're already having too much closeness. You're already breaking boundaries with a total stranger, with somebody you're not in a covenant with. So then, yes, but for most couples, they wait till it has hit the
something
bed.
blows up.
Some even wait till they have found out that, even though, because some people think, if my partner cheats on me, we can just work it out. We can tell each other sorry. They don't understand that. It requires professional help, because it's difficult for the offender most times to relate with what the offended is feeling. Just think, if I apologize, this is fine. Yes. I said no. I said it's like being hit by an 18-wheeler. Sometimes the person that is hit is saying, no, I'm fine, I'm okay. We said, no, you are not okay. No, of course. If you know what hit you, even if you're not bleeding on the outside, there's internal bleeding. So you need to come out to the MRI, you need to come out to the ICU, you need to come to the hospital, let a professional check all the vitals and help you get on your feet. But many couples think they can work on it, and you'll find out sometimes 10 years down the line, they now come for therapy. In fact, we've handled the case that was almost 20 years ago. In fact, the infidelity happened before they got married.
That's right, yeah.
And 20 years down the line, they have grown kids now, but the issues from that betrayal was still affecting the marriage. So we told them, no, you should have come from day one.
Yeah. No, it's so true. And I want to back you up on this, because we see this in our practice a lot. So, a guy gets caught, or it's the 17th time that he's lied and he finally comes clean. So the spouse says, you need to do something about this. So they join a program, they get incredible results, and then they think, perfect.
Yes, we can go.
It's been 4 months, 6 months. I'm a different person. Yeah. Now we can go back to the way things used to be. Yeah. There's no such thing, for starters, right? Yeah. But secondly, sure, they've undergone this transformation, but the wife is still devastated, still doesn't trust, probably has her own trauma, her own betrayal trauma, like you're talking about. So can you talk to a guy who's maybe listening, and let's say it's a guy, whether he's in our program or maybe someone else's program, and he's aware that he has hurt his spouse and that there's been violation of trust, and he knows that he's got to do his part, but she also needs to somehow come along. And I know one thing, like we always hear guys say, is like, I'm the one who messed up. How could I ever tell her she needs to get help? Because I think it's easy to be like, yeah, you're the pornography addict. You need to get your act together. But I'm good over here. Like, I'm innocent. I didn't do anything. How does he somehow convince her? How do you bring the spouse along as well, so that they can both heal together and start a brand new marriage together on the right foot? Yeah,
you just have to let the person realize that when there's infidelity, there are 3 healings that we there are 3 levels of healing that we need. Okay. So the offended party, the person that went out of the marriage, needs healing. There's a reason they went out of the marriage. All right. So they have issues with building faithfulness and all that. So they have to go through some healing. Yeah. Now, the offended party, like I said, and I think will just hit you. it looks like you are building your whole life on a lie or living a lie all this while. So you can't just move on. You also need to come for healing. Now, the marriage is the third level of healing. So sometimes some people, the offending party just goes for healing.
Yes, it's like
and
one layer.
comes back to a marriage that is sick or a spouse that is hurting. So it's a three-pronged approach. So the offending party needs to get healing. Why are you going out of your marriage? Why do you think you can make a pledge and a covenant and a promise and break it? There's something going on in your head why you feel that's okay. So we're going to work with you on that to develop that. The hurt party needs to know that there's what is called trauma, there's what is called triggers. Every time your partner has cheated on you, or if your partner has ever cheated on you, everything associated with that is going to impact you.
That's right.
If he went to a certain hotel and did it, every time you passed by that hotel or whatever, the pain and everything will come back.
Yes.
Every time he does something on his phone, there are just triggers that will be popping up.
Absolutely.
So you need to go through some healing.
Yeah.
Then the marriage, why did both of you, or why did he, in spite of being married to you, do something else? Is the marriage also working the way it's meant to work? So the marriage has to be healed. If you do one without the others, if both of you go for therapy and get healed and the marriage is not healed, whatever caused it in the first place is still there.
Yeah.
So you guys are going to come back to a sick marriage and it's going to repeat itself all over again. So it's a three-pronged approach. So if infidelity ever happens, please talk to not just a regular counselor, because it's an expert practice.
Yes, I'm
to
glad
deal
you
with
said
infidelity.
that.
So
Yes.
you must look for an expert in that field
Yes.
that can walk both of you through.
Yes.
And there are many marriages that have ended because of infidelity that shouldn't have ended if they got real help. Because many people think, once my partner cheats, I'm leaving. That's not necessarily the best thing to do. And that's one thing I've noticed with many people. They just think, if my partner has ever cheated, I'm going to leave. That's not necessarily the best thing.
Yeah.
The best thing is to first heal, be in a good position to make a decision. When you are hurting, yes, you can't make the right decision.
Yeah.
Because when you're hurting, you want to run away from the pain.
Yes.
So some people think ending the marriage or any relationship is the best thing, and then I find out that they are going to a worse situation.
Yeah.
So stay first, heal first. Then if you think you still want to leave, you are no more making the decision out of pain. You're making it because you've thought it through. There are people that have not thought it through.
Wow.
So as a counselor, there are people that have left the marriage
Yes.
and they now call me to go and beg the partner that they want to come back. Because now they've left.
Because they realize how much worse
They
it is.
realized that, that wasn't the best thing to do. So you have to, some of them couldn't even leave. They couldn't sustain a life
Yes.
on their own.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they didn't think it through. They just reacted from pain. So this is where a good counselor comes in and lets you know what, I know you're in pain. They can actually understand the emotions.
Yes.
Because when you have been betrayed, there are specific emotions you face. They might not be linear, but a good therapist knows this is what you will feel. And by the time they talk you through it, you realize you're not alone. It's not peculiar to you. They say, you are going to feel like this. You're going to feel like this at this time.
Yeah.
These feelings will come back from time to time. They will guide you through it. It's the same thing with porn addiction and everything. Sometimes you think is a unique case. It's never really a unique case because the whole process is kind of to an expert.
Yes.
He understands how this happens.
Yes.
You know? So if you just need somebody to hold your hand, and it's one of the things that contemporary marriages don't have. They don't have that strong sense of community. If you have that strong sense of community, a lot of marriages that fail would not need to fail because the challenges that families face are usually around the same things. So community will tell you, look, I've been through it.
Yeah.
And this is how to handle it.
Yeah.
They will guide both the men and the women because the men and women are facing different challenges in a marriage.
Yes.
But with an experienced community, and that's how God has always designed it, for there to be mentoring within families.
Yes.
That way, the young man just getting married that thinks, I've lost my individuality, I'm sacrificing so much for. Older men will be able to say, look, it's just for a season. This is the gain you'll get from this thing after a while. They will guide him. Everything, you can survive anything if you have the right company.
Yeah.
Same thing with the women. They're feeling, my body is gone, my time is gone, my whatever. You see older women that will say, you know what, you're going to get gain from this, or this what to do, or you just need to rest sometimes. People don't know that one of the biggest causes of divorce in the Western world is stress. That's all. Just plain old stress. Because science shows that, your level of compassion, your level of oxytocin, and all these things drops with stress. So a woman wonders why she doesn't want to see her husband anymore. She's just stressed.
Yeah.
Your oxytocin is reduced. And that's what bonds a man and a woman together.
Yes.
So when that is reduced, when cortisol has risen, oxytocin has reduced, she's seeing you as dead weight. She's seeing you as a disturbance.
Yeah.
And it's just a temporary feeling. You see, your feelings are real, but they are not always right. People need to know that.
Yes.
Just because your feelings are real doesn't make them right. So
That's
some
a
people,
word.
yeah,
That's
some
a good
people
word.
are dedicated to their feelings. So because I feel this way, it means it's right. No, it's okay to feel that way because you can't, deny that you feel it.
Yes.
But it doesn't make it right. If you check your life, there are times you felt somebody didn't like you, or you felt something about something, and later you changed your mind. So your feelings were real. They are not always right. Your feelings are real. They are not final.
Yeah.
Your feelings can change.
Yeah.
In fact, they often change.
They do change.
So if you don't have a community at that time when you're feeling like jumping ship, marrying someone else, divorcing your spouse, if you don't have a community to let you know that it's normal to feel so and it will pass, you act on your feelings, and tomorrow you will regret that you acted on your feelings.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, you're speaking my language here. Oxytocin, cortisol.
Yes.
Yeah, I used to work in a biology lab, so I love all this stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, we've kind of, so I guess we're like talking about when things go wrong,
Yes.
right? And good protocol for handling that. We've also talked about ideally what takes place on the front end, which is that not just a union, but you're gearing up for unity.
Yeah.
I'm wondering about kind of the middle ground here. What are, like, it sounds like you guys had some things figured out when you started. Like you had your agreements, you're on the same page about a lot of things. So what are couples to do in that in-between place to continue unity? Like, I think everybody's hearing about date nights, weekly date nights. I'm always impressed. I have a couple friends, and we've all just been very consistent with date nights. My wife and I don't think we've missed a date night in, however long it's been. It looks a little bit different right now. We have a newborn, but like we still make something work every.
Before you ask your question, don't forget your train of thought. You mentioned having kids. So one of the things I'm speaking about right now is seasons in marriage. So many people don't realize there are seasons in marriage.
Oh yes.
So if you don't prepare for the seasons, like we're in Canada, we're in Toronto right now, we're in Canada right now. Very soon winter is going to come.
Yes.
So if you're dressed this way a month from now, it'll be uncomfortable outside.
Yeah.
If you're dressed this way 2 months from now, you
I'll
might not make it
hospital.
back home. Yeah. So people think they can pray away seasons. You can only prepare for seasons because seasons will come.
Wow.
It's going to come. So you are in a season now. You notice that something else is taking the heat
Yes.
for the new born that has come in.
Yeah.
That's seasons. Your marriage is not going to be in this. So people tell me sometimes when they come to me and say, Pastor, Doctor, I've lost my marriage. I say, exactly, because that you lost this. That's the old season. You have a new marriage. You're in love with what your marriage used to be.
Yeah.
When we're just the two of us.
Yes.
That is going to die. Now that you have kids, that marriage that you had when it were just two of you is going to die. It's lost forever.
Where were you 2 years ago, man? I needed you. When we had our first, the first 6 months were rough.
That marriage, yes.
For that exact reason,
yes,
yeah.
that marriage is gone. When it was both of you, that marriage is gone. So the way I describe it, there are 4 levels. There's the first level where you are falling in love. So you're on a slope. Yeah. You're falling in love. You're coming from the high place down. When you're falling in love with a slope, even if you don't put your engine on, your car is going to keep moving.
True.
So everybody's enjoying that stage. They're like, whoa, this is like a roller coaster. Like, this is fun.
Yeah. What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, what can go wrong? We don't even need counseling. We don't need premarital counseling. We can just fall and get married. I don't even need to hold the steering. The car is going down. There's a slope. So everybody's enjoying that part. So it's called the honeymoon stage.
Right.
Or the romantic stage.
Right.
Usually lasts 6 months to 2 years. When you hit the plain ground, now for the car to move, effort has to be put in. It's on the plain ground now. So when people get to that plain ground and be like, why is the car not moving? And they say, it's your fault. I say, no, it's your fault. Why is the car not moving? And they start to argue. They say, you are mean. You are lazy. You are whatever. They start to argue because that's the reality season. Now there's no more extra. You're not falling anymore. You are now in love. Yeah. So it's no more feeling based. It's reality now. So what we tell people, when you hit that base, you need to move from emotional love to intentional love. So now the things that were happening automatically or without your effort, now that you're on the playing ground, for the car to move, you have to put it on, you have to engage the gear and drive. Some people that don't know how to put it on and engage the gear, they push the car. Right. That's more difficult. So they're not going to push it long, for long. So they're going to bail out. So some people say, no, I'm addicted to the falling. Sorry. So some people say they're addicted to the falling stage. So they go back up the hill. They divorce or separate from this person, go back and fall in love again because they're enjoying this ride. But they always hit the reality stage that you have to put on the car. So that takes you learning about your spouse. So that depends on skill.
Which skills?
Learning things like love language. What makes my spouse happy? So there are 5 major long languages.
Right.
You know, most people know this. So quality time, acts of service, compliments, you know, things like that. You have to know what makes my spouse happy. Some people like acts of service, doing something for me.
Yeah.
You know, some people like compliments. So you don't have to be intentional about complimenting your spouse because now you're getting used to them. So you no longer, at the beginning, you were doing all these things emotionally. They were happening, you know, involuntarily. They're just happening by themselves. Now, on the reality stage, you have to consciously compliment because you are tending to complain more now. But you have to resist that temptation and continue to compliment. Before you were sacrificing for this person. Now you have to consciously serve this person. You have to understand now, you know. So it's intentional, basically. You move from emotional love to intentional love. So I'm looking out for you now, consciously. That's the reality stage. So it's usually around it's usually like the first year of marriage, second year of marriage.
Sure.
Many couples that you see that face challenges, it was reality that hit them.
Yes.
After reality stage, the third stage is where you go back up the hill. That one is difficult. So many people don't make it to that at that stage because that one requires strength. The reality stage requires skill.
Okay.
Going up requires strength because that one is commitment. Because you know what to do, you just don't have the energy or willingness to do it. So it's commitment that keeps you there because now the kids have come usually at this stage. So you're going uphill with baggage.
Yeah. Yeah, you've run into a couple hardships at this point for sure. Yeah.
Mortgage has increased because you've moved to a bigger house.
Right.
Kids have come. There's a demand on your time and energy because before then, just you and your partner. So you guys had energy and time.
Yeah.
Now you have kids. Kids are the most selfish beings on the earth. They don't care. They have what they want when they want it. They don't care about your sex life. So everything takes a hit. Your sex life takes a hit. Your energy, like I said, stress. People need to pay attention to stress.
Yeah.
A lot of marriages are cracking. It's pure and plain stress. A vacation, that again, comes back to community. Getting some other people to take care of your kids and other things, and both of you go and rest.
I'm telling you, yeah.
Sleep in, have sex, order in, sleep.
Yeah.
You will feel better.
Yeah.
But so going uphill requires a lot of sacrifice and strength.
Yeah.
Fitness. So what determines your survival going uphill is your fitness. It's your fitness. If you notice those guys that climb mountains, the number one thing they tell you when you want to go for mountain climbing is your fitness. It's not the mountain. The mountain is not going to change.
Yeah, true.
But if you are fit, you'll make it. If you are not fit,
right,
you will not make it.
Yes.
It's your fitness. So, you mentioned at the beginning, your relationship with God. So how is your spiritual life? Because that's what will give you strength. How is your mental health? How is your emotional state? If you are weak in all these areas, you're going to bail out. Because now you are carrying kids up this hill. You're carrying a higher mortgage up this hill. You've bought a minivan now, bigger car note, up this hill. There's so many responsibilities now. Many people bail out. But if you survive that stage, the next stage is where you fly off again. And you are coasting. And if you're flying and you're coasting, the wind is doing a lot of the work. So that fourth stage is where you have built systems. So you guys have understood the systems and structure. So systems mean we now have a hang of when we spend time together. We now have a structure for how we handle the kids. We now are more sympathetic to my partner. I understand that, when he's back from work, he can't do a lot of talking, he's tired. Or when she has done this, she's not at her best. You've developed a system.
Sheesh, this is good.
So many people are still in love with the first stage.
Yeah, and still holding on to that.
Yes, and they're saying, I've lost my marriage. Of course you've lost that marriage. You have a new marriage that is now 3 people or 4 people. A new marriage that somebody is now older. Because your age when you started, it's not the same. Most people, their sex life when they were 20. It's not the same thing, you see, when you're 40. But some people still want the sex life of when they were 20. In their 40s. It's not going to happen for everybody. Some health issues have come up.
Sure.
Different things. They're in different stages. Time. Maybe the man is facing, stress at work, or the woman is facing, somewhat menopause, or, different things are happening. So people are in love with the stage 1.
Yes.
Because stage 1 is the stage that they use for movies and music.
Yeah.
It's stage 1. Nobody's selling stage 3 and stage 4 in music. It's not going to sell. Nobody wants to watch that.
Yeah.
Yes. Also, everybody thinks the idea of love and commitment is stage 1, where it's romantic. There are no kids. There are no bills. If you notice all the music, all the movies, is built around, we're just two people in love in Paris.
Yeah.
We don't have ticket money to fly to Paris.
That's right, yeah.
In real marriage, nobody. So there's just seasons. And if you understand each season and adapt to each season and prepare, again, comes back to community.
Yeah.
If you have community, they'll tell you now, in the season where you're going to have kids, your sex life might drop.
Yeah.
You're not going to have sex 10 times a day.
Right.
When you were just both of you, you could have sex 3 times a day.
Yeah.
You could have sex 2 times a day. You could have sex whatever. But when they're kids,
yes,
there are a lot of people that need to vote.
That's right. It's a democracy.
Yeah. There are a lot of people involved, a lot of stress involved.
Yeah.
Maybe both of you are climbing up the corporate ladder, so the demands on your time, everything is changing. So
of course,
if you need to know what season your marriage is in. Yeah.
That's so good. It's so good. Yeah, it's funny. You reminded me when I was when I started out in ministry, I lived in the basement of a retired couple from the church. And he had some health issues, very bad vision,
Yes.
And she was just a sweet woman. She would cook for the entire community, kind of thing. She was amazing. And I remember the one morning we woke up around the same time, her and I was in the kitchen. You know, I was making my breakfast or whatever, and she just came to the sink, and there was like just a couple small melted ice cream pools, and she just had this big smile on her face. And I said, why are you smiling? I thought she'd be kind of upset.
Upset, yes.
You know? She said, oh, Mike must have had a midnight snack last night. And she just thought it was the greatest thing.
You hit the nail on the head.
And I think that's stage 4 you're talking about.
That's stage 4. She understands that I'm not going to change this guy.
Yeah.
Because that's what people struggle with.
Yes.
They want to change, they want to keep him. No, you're not going to change. At this stage 4, you know their weaknesses, and now use that information positively.
That's right.
Many people use I know my spouse negatively.
Yeah.
They say I knew you
They
were
try to-
going to. They use it negatively. No, you know this guy never keeps the time. If he says coming 4, he's coming 4:30 or 5. That's an information to use positively, not negatively.
Yes.
Not that you're waiting to tell him I knew you were going to.
Yes.
You already know he's going to.
Yeah.
So plan. Yeah.
Man.
So that story
That's
is
exactly what it reminded me of. Yeah.
that story hit the nail on the head.
Okay. So what I was going to ask you earlier is actually kind of about stage 3, because I think that's where my wife and I are right now. And I guess what I want to ask is what, like you mentioned there, it's the commitment phase.
Yes.
So obviously that's a big part of it, is you just stay true to each other. And I mean, again, being transparent, my wife and I have had some very raw conversations the last probably year. During the second pregnancy, she sat me down one day and she said, look, I'm committed to you, but there's some things going on. There's some things you're doing that are making it really difficult. Can you help me out? And I truthfully, like I was not showing up as a husband the way she needed me to. So I really needed to rise up, and I'm grateful that my wife did that. So I'm for sure in the middle of that season. How do people get through this season well so that they can make it to that 4th season? Fitness, marital fitness.
Yes, personal fitness as well.
Okay.
Her patience is being tested. So you see, and the thing about seasons is that seasons will change. Science or surveys have shown that sometimes some things you're facing in a marriage, all you need to do is to wait. That if you do nothing about it, after a while, it's going to pass. But many people think they need to act on it. They need to do something. They need to change their partner.
This is a problem. We got to fix it. Otherwise, we're going to...
Yes.
Yeah.
So they are forced to separate because this thing is not changing. Sometimes all you need to do is to wait. This man just needs to mature. Because the man you marry or the woman you marry is not the woman you're going to have in 10 years. The woman that was young, had no kids, it's not the woman that you are going to live with 10 years down the line with 2 kids. That's not the same woman at all.
No.
So if you're not adjusted to that, and you want her to be the same woman, or you want him to be the same guy, you're going to disappoint it. So your personal fitness in terms of your patience, you're just going to wait. This guy is going to mature. And sometimes without anybody teaching him or telling him, he's just going to grow into something. He's going to grow into understanding. Yes, you can talk to him and tell him, oh, this is what I would like, but don't push it. Don't try to force it. Your fitness in terms of patience, your fitness in terms of forgiveness is also part of your fitness. Your fitness in terms of getting your strength from somewhere else. Because some people think, oh, my partner has to always be a source of my strength. Like we mentioned at the beginning. No, sometimes your partner doesn't just have what it takes.
Yeah.
Can't give you what you want.
Yeah.
And you're going to depend on a higher source to be content.
Yeah.
To wait. Marriage is not about satisfaction. So the way I say it is that stage, don't focus on satisfy, focus on sacrifice. Many people are saying, I want to be satisfied. No, it's not like a buffet. It's not like you're going to get all you want all the time.
Yeah.
That's not how marriage works.
Yeah.
Sometimes you're just going to be there to sacrifice for your partner.
Yeah.
You say if one falls down, the other is there to lift him up. So sometimes that's all that is going to happen. So if you are insisting that every season must be very sweet,
yeah.
no, you're going to be disappointed and you will think your marriage is bad, and only to find out that no matter where you go, you're going to go through the seasons all over again. So
okay.
even if you break this marriage and go and start another one, you guys will still go through seasons.
Yes. Is that why people that get divorced once are more likely to divorce again? Because they just hit the same wall and they don't know how to get through it?
Yes. So they've developed a pattern of escaping pain, escaping, the test of patience. It's a part of life.
Yeah.
With everything in your life, you're going to go through about 3 or 4 different stages. The same thing when you first met the Lord, you can't compare the excitement. Then it's like, you just love the Lord. Every time you're singing, everything speaks to you. If you're passing by and you see a note on the wall, it's kind of speaking to you.
Yeah.
Everything's speaking to you.
That's right. You can open your Bible and right there pick a verse and
A few months down into it, you now have to start to seek the Lord consciously. Then it seems nobody's speaking to you. Then, every reality has set in. So you need to now develop, a lifestyle of trusting the Lord and knowing the Lord. And after a while, it gets really boring. And this is where many people drop off again.
Yeah.
If you stay long enough, you will again find your wind. But many people never get there. They just say it's no more as exciting as the first time.
Yeah.
Same thing with a job. When you get a job, you're excited the first day. In fact, you're the first to get to work. And you're wondering why other people are coming late.
Yeah.
Stay there long enough.
Yeah.
You'll be the guy coming late.
Yeah.
You'll be the guy complaining about management.
Yeah.
You need to find meaning. Same thing with the church. When you find a church, I love this church. I love it. No, stay long enough.
Right. Yeah.
You will start to see the
really
faults.
love it.
Yes. You start to see. That's when you fall in love, you see all the positives. When you reach the reality stage, you see all the negatives.
Yeah.
And you forget the positives.
I think this is so important because our generation is, and I'll even speak to like my age, like I'm a millennial, and I think we are notorious for, like this church doesn't have XYZ,
Yes.
this person doesn't have XYZ. Like we're very critical. We want results right away. We don't know how to delay gratification.
Exactly.
We have no sense of commitment long term, even just to a friendship. Like cancel culture is very much like that person's bad for you. They're toxic, cut them off. And obviously, like sometimes that is true, right? But I think this is a really good word. So let's talk about this maybe one step deeper. So maybe somebody has that history, whether it's relationally, spiritually, vocationally, wherever. They have that history of, I hit this wall, it's a slog, and I just give up. How does somebody change that pattern? How do they actually learn to persevere? Do you just willpower and white knuckle your way through it, or what? How can somebody make this a little bit more manageable?
Like I've been saying all day, please get community. I just kind of emphasize that.
Yeah.
What we do in this part of the world is that we want to be independent and individual.
Yes.
And then we end up paying for community.
It's true.
Yeah. Because now everybody needs to pay for a nanny or, a babysitter. Then we pay for therapy. Then we pay for Uber Eats, and we pay for everything. All that we're paying for is what in some other community provides. There's somebody that's going to help you stay with your kids. There's a friend or a family member that has kids your age that you just go and drop your kids with and have some free time, you see. But we're now paying for all that because we're not connected. We're not in a community. There's nothing that can trump community. God never intended people to live without community. So we're just trying to do something that is impossible. Like I said, a lot of the marriages that are breaking, they are only breaking because at the time they needed mature examples they didn't have. Everybody gets crazy ideas. Everybody gets crazy ideas once in a while. And the people around you when you get your crazy idea matters. If there's no one around you, you're left with your crazy idea, you might act on it. If you have crazy people around you when you get your crazy idea, you will definitely act on it.
Yeah.
But if somebody can just talk you down and say, you know what, sleep over this, give this one more week.
Yeah.
Or they tell you, I've been through something like this, and this is why it is happening, or this is how I overcame it. That simple, mentoring or community can save you. There's nothing new under the heaven, only new people. That's all that is new. Everything that's happened, just like lewdness, pornography, other things, they have been
it's been
all
around
through.
Yep.
In different forms.
Start of time, yeah.
Yes, so if you check it, so you just need mature people, community that are calm and will tell you, you know what, this is not the way to treat your wife, or this is not the way to treat your husband.
It's really profound, like what you're saying about in Western culture, how we pay for the things that community provides in Eastern cultures, right? More or less, like Indian culture is definitely that way. African culture, I'm sure, would be the same, right?
Definitely.
That's really fascinating. Yeah, my head's spinning. I think that's another interview.
Yeah.
I don't want to deviate too far. You said a couple minutes ago, you talked about the importance of forgiveness. You just mentioned it very briefly.
Yes.
Forgiveness is a staple of our system when we walk guys through pornography. Forgiveness of people that have hurt them, forgiveness sometimes of their spouse, and forgiveness of themselves. That's a really big one. How do you talk people through the forgiveness process on your end if you're counseling them?
It's a whole long process, but it starts by, you see, God is amazing, and sometimes if you don't have someone that can properly teach you about God, you would think God is one abstract thing and one irrelevant thing or one makeup of people's ideas. It's not. God is a real person, and God knows human beings. If there's anybody to learn from, when I teach in my practice, I use science. So the way I say it is this: I use scripture, I use science, I use statistics, and I use sense. Common sense.
Yes.
All four agree on the main things. Anything that is a main thing that can help a human being, all four will agree with it. So if you don't like scripture, I can show you from science. If you don't like science, I can show you from statistics. If you don't like statistics, I can show you from common sense, from just sense. And one of the things I learned from God is that when people are traumatized, because everybody has baggage.
Yes.
If you don't know that, you think you are special. No, everybody has baggage.
Yeah.
No matter who you marry.
If you don't think you have baggage, you probably have some of the worst.
That is your baggage.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So everybody has baggage. Now, the difference is that some people have wallet-sized baggage.
Right.
So it's not obvious. It doesn't disturb everybody.
Sure.
Some people have a purse-sized baggage. Yeah, it's noticeable, but still not troublesome.
Okay.
Some have a carry-on luggage kind of baggage.
Yeah.
Very noticeable, but they can still let you take that into the plane.
Okay.
Because there's some space for that. Some people have check-in luggage kind of baggage. So you can't take that into the plane, but you can check it in. So some people have oversized or overweight luggage. You can't check it in normal place. People are checking in normal baggage because it's heavier. So they have another separate place. And it's really further into the airport. You can do oversized baggage. Some people have cargo size. So when they come into your life, they look like they have no baggage. They do. It's just been shipped.
So they nailed it off. Yeah.
So 3 months down the line, they're going to go clear it at the port and deliver it.
And then you're going to say, what happened to this person?
Exactly.
Yes.
So cargo. So
that's
no matter who you marry, they're going to baggage. So when you understand that you also have a baggage, number one, it means you're going to be more tolerant. That no matter who you marry, they're going to come with baggage. If you divorce this one, separate from you, you're just going to meet a different kind of baggage.
Yeah.
So everybody has, including you. And what is God's solution? In Africa, in my country, especially in Nigeria, we have a bus, one very big bus. It's like a mass transit kind of bus. We call it Molue. That's the name.
Okay.
That's the local name. In that bus, there are more people standing than people sitting. It's very cramped up. It's very packed. No windows, no AC, nothing like that.
Okay.
It's really the poor people that use it more. If I've entered those buses, everybody's cramped up and pressing each other, and there's always someone selling pills on those chairs. And those guys will tell you, these pills have no name, have no label, have no manufacturer. They're just plain red capsules in a plain bag. And these guys will tell you this thing cures everything. So if you have migraine, if you have liver problem, if you have
cancer,
anything,
whatever.
they will tell you this thing will cure it. So we call it the all-purpose, capsule.
Okay.
So they just sell it to you, and people actually buy those things.
Okay.
So God has His own all-curing or all-purpose pill. It's called love. And the way love works is that the thing the sick person lacks the most is what God gives them also the most. So if, for instance, if someone is very greedy or hungry, one of the things God gives them is abundance of food. Once they get to the stage where they see that, because most malfunction or dysfunction comes from a fear. Fear that this is not enough. I'm not loved enough. I'm not respected enough. So the person begins to over-demand it, and it shows in bad character. First time I started driving in North America, in Africa, when you drive, you have to fight for the road.
That's right.
When I came out here, I thought that was how I was. You won't allow. So after a while, you know what? I saw that people were allowing me to enter. When I was in a hurry, people were stepping aside for me to move. They showed so much grace on the road. I'm not familiar with that.
Right.
So after a while, I calmed down and discovered, no, nobody's rushing here. So that's how I healed from that. That's how God does it. It gives you the abundance of what you seem to lack. So what's the number one problem of mankind is sin. And guess what God gave us in abundance? Infinitely. Mercy. Forgiveness. No matter what you've done, no matter what you've done, God stand is clear. I forgive you. Now, of course, the government might not forgive you. the judicial system might not forgive you. But from God's end, if you ask for forgiveness, he has answered already. I forgive you. So God gives the abundance of what you lack the most. So most people working with guilt and all that, they've just not faced the reality that God said, I forgive you. I'm not holding it against you. So God gives the abundance of what you need the most. So when you understand that first, that God has forgiven you, then it's from that place you forgive other people. So if God can forgive you, why can't you forgive someone else? You have to be gracious. So that's why I talked about personal fitness. Your own fitness is what determines, not what the person did to you. People are going to do things. It's just a part of life.
Oh, yes.
So your own fitness in receiving first from God. People treat you how they see themselves, not really how they see you. If they feel they're not worthy of forgiveness, then they find it hard to forgive other people. But if you know that God has forgiven you totally, it's difficult to hold on to unforgiveness with somebody. Why? Now, the pain is not going to disappear, but you must be gracious enough to say, you know what? I'm going to let you go. And we tell people forgiveness is not a feeling. Some people think if I forgive, I'm going to feel better. No. It's not a feeling.
No.
You know, you don't decide if God has forgiven you or not, whether you feel guilty or not. No. The feeling of condemnation is going to be there. But you need to face the reality of the fact that God has forgiven you. So it's not a feeling. All right. If I forgive you, doesn't mean I'm going to forget what you did. It's not forget. So we break it down. So forgiveness and a feeling is not forgetfulness. It doesn't mean I'm going to suddenly become, lose my memory just because I forgive you. No. It's a decision of faith that I forgive you. And forgiveness is not for the offender. It's for the offended. So you're setting yourself free from what has happened. So it doesn't mean the person deserves to be forgiven. You deserve to be free.
It's a good word. It's a good word. It's so important. I mean, it was reminding me of Matthew 6, where Jesus teaches the Lord's Prayer. And then afterwards in verse 14, 15, 16, he basically says, if you do not forgive those who trespass against you, then my Father in heaven will not forgive you of your sins either. Like this is a big deal, because we all want the forgiveness of God. That's such a good message. We're like, yes, Lord, because I'm a sinner, I'm broken, I have my baggage, cargo size or purse size or whatever it is, but God has mercy for me. But then we forget actually, but if we're not working in forgiveness ourselves, we don't even get to access that. As great as it might be. We have a 4-step process when we walk clients through forgiveness. It's identify, specify, release, and restore. And our clients are always surprised by the restore part. And it looks different for everyone. It kind of depends on the situation. Maybe you can actually go and reconcile a relationship. But at the very least, the one thing we teach them to pray is to bless that person in the area that they hurt you. So somebody cheats you out of money, you identify the pain, you specify what was the actual forgiveness. You can't just throw money at your credit card bill and hope that the bill is paid. You got to know what's the balance, and you have to put the specific amount to have a clear balance at the end of the month, right? You release them. That's the actual forgiveness. Like you owe me nothing. I'm not holding this against you anymore. I'm gonna, like you said, I'm gonna free myself. But then the restoration is, and I bless you. I bless you to prosper financially in all you do, or whatever the area is.
That's what we just discussed. The part they lack the most.
Exactly.
Is what you're giving.
That's why I love what you're saying. I think it's so spot on. And I think this is like, it's very clear you and I have worked with enough people to just see this is how you get breakthrough. This is how you do it. You may not like it. It may not be comfortable. It may not even feel that good in the moment, like you're saying. But if you follow this process, you're going to get incredible results.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's spot on. This is such a great conversation.
Thank you.
I'm so glad we got to do this.
Yes, totally.
Thank you for coming down. For people that want to find out more about what you're up to, you and your wife both have phenomenal ministries. Please let them know where they can go.
Basically, social media, Instagram, my name, Kingsley Okonkwo. You'll see our Facebook, you'll see Instagram, then YouTube as well. We have loads of helpful stuff on
lots
YouTube.
Of content.
And then you get our contact details from there as well. If you need to reach out, counseling, therapy, infidelity recovery, coaching for men. So that's one thing we have in common.
Yes.
I've been so burdened about coaching men.
Yes. So, yeah. Kingsley PST, I think, is where your handle in most places, Kingsley right?
PST, yes.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. We'll put the links in the show notes. Dr. Kingsley, thanks for this. This is awesome.
Thank you.